Hello everyone, good day. I am Sir Cedrick L. Simbajon and welcome to our virtual class in Creative Writing. Today, we will explore the Lesson 3 of your English Creative Writing subject in Grade 12 Humanities and Social Sciences, Module 2 of Quarter 2, the creative work in a literary and/or socio-political context. But before we start, make sure you have with you your Module 2 of Quarter 2 in English Creative Writing, your pen, your paper, or your notebook. Our lesson for today will gear you to write a craft essay. Let us now do your first task. Directions. Take a look at some essay titles below and decide if these are written creatively. Write a check mark before each number if the titles can be used in creative essays. Number 1, My Best Friend and I, Just Like a Pair of Rainbows. Number 2, What Could Forever Mean in Days. Number 3, Why We Need Rain. Number 4, If I Had an Eighth Day of the Week. Number 5, The Hidden Law of Economics. Number 6, Rising HIV Cases. Number 7, The Need for Moral Recovery. Number 8, Climate Change in the Philippines. Number 9, the 2019 polls, the debates. And number 10, Flying with a Firefly. Let's check your answers. The titles can be used in creative essays are number 1, My Best Friend and I, Just Like a Pair of Rainbows. Number 2, What Could Forever Mean in Days. Number 3, Why We Need Rain. Number 4, If I Had an Eighth Day of the Week. Number 7, The Need for Moral Recovery. And number 10, Flying with a Firefly. Did you get all the right answers? Don't worry, we are now going to start our lesson. Let us proceed in the part of your module entitled, What is it? Another genre of literature aside from poetry, drama, and short story are the essays. The word essay came from the French word essays. Have you written an autobiography before? How about writing on your embarrassing or unforgettable experience? Or your New Year's resolution as you came back to school from the Christmas holiday? An essay may be written creatively, especially the ones that are reflections of a writer's personal experience, feelings, and ideas. It uses ordinary, colloquial language and is conversational in tone and style. It considers the following acronym to make it effective. Craft. C for content. R for role. A for audience. F for format. T for topic. Here are types of essays. Speculative, argumentative, narrative, expository. Speculative. This type needs to explore ideas and feelings. It is less organized, less authoritative, and less insistent in its presentation, for it simply projects the mind of the writer. Argumentative. This essay presents claims and ideas in a straightforward manner. Its main intent is to establish a point by supporting it with evidences, data, and information. Narrative. This essay relates an incident as it happened. It is unlike fiction since its intention is the conveyance of idea or insight based on an event. Expository. This essay has the purpose of expounding and making something clear for the readers. Just like any other prose composition, essays can be organized into the following patterns or methods of organization: chronological order, order of importance, sequential order, spatial order, comparison and contrast order. Chronological order. A chronological pattern of organization arranges information according to a progression of time, either forward or backward. When a topic is best understood in terms of different segments of time, a chronological format works well. For example, topics of an historical nature are best organized using this pattern. Order of importance. In this order, ideas or steps are prioritized by the writer or speaker according to a hierarchy of value. When using the order of importance pattern of organization, information can be structured from most important to least important, or least important or most important. Sequential order. A sequential pattern of organization is similar to a chronological pattern, but arranges information according to a step-by-step sequence that describes a particular process. When one wishes to describe a process that follows a specific series of steps in a particular order, then a sequential pattern works well. For example, suppose a writer's stated purpose is to explain how wine is made. Spatial order. A spatial pattern of organization arranges information according to how things fit together in physical space. That is, where one thing exists in relation to another. This pattern works well when a writer wishes to create a mental picture of something which has various parts distinguished by physical location. Topics involving geography, for example, are often best organized using spatial pattern. Comparison and contrast order. A compare and contrast pattern arranges information according to how two or more things are similar to or different from one another or both. This is an effective pattern to use when the reader can better understand one subject when it is described in relation to another. If the reader is familiar with one topic, the writer can compare or contrast it with another topic to shed insight on it. For example, suppose a writer's stated purpose is to help the reader make an informed decision about whether to attend a 2-year college or a 4-year university. At this time, let us proceed to the activity found on your module, which is the Let Us Practice. Multiple choice. Please read the questions below and answer the questions that follow. Write only the letter of choice. Number 1. What cultural practice can be inferred from the following lines? About her wedding, she could not recall much because she must have been very small at the time. She was sent to live with her husband when her body blossomed. Letter A, poverty. Letter B, fixed marriage. Letter C, education. Letter D, prostitution. If your answer is letter B, you are correct. Fixed marriage. Two, What could have been Daoli's experience after the wedding as revealed by the following lines? But her husband's elder brother came there and started eyeing her. Her mother-in-law then turned against her and Daoli left. Letter A, happy. Letter B, contented. Letter C, miserable. Letter D, boring. If you answer letter A, you got it right. Happy. What era in the Philippine history is shown in the following lines from Unseen War? That very second, the first volley bursts from the 80 cannons of Spanish Armada. The musketeers, lancers, bowmen, artillerymen, and foot soldiers sprang from waiting behind Sultan Kudarat's stronghold. Letter A, martial law. Letter B, Japanese era. Letter C, American regime. Letter D, Spanish conquest. If you answer letter D, you got it right. Spanish conquest. Number 4. What approach considers the literary work as a product in relation to the actual economic and social conditions that exist at the time of the work's composition? Letter A, Marxist. Letter B, cultural. Letter C, historical. Letter D, feminist. If your answer is letter A, you are correct. Marxist. Matching the craft. Match the terms that correspond to the craft acronym in A with their descriptions in B. In column A, we have number 1, context. Number 2, topic. Number 3, role. Number 4, audience. Number 5, format. For column B, we have letter A, the type of writing produced. Letter B, the situation for which you are writing. Letter C, the person or people for which you are writing. Letter D, the voice with which you are writing. Letter E, the subject matter on you are writing. Let us check your answers. For number 1, context, the answer is letter B. For number 2, topic, the answer is letter E. For number 3, role, the answer is letter A. For number 4, audience, the answer is letter C. And lastly, for number 5, format, the answer is letter D. To completely boost your learning, let us practice more. Multiple choice. To measure your knowledge of the concepts that this module will develop, answer the following questions. Write only the letter of your answer. Number 1. Which written work does not belong to creative writing? Letter A, editorial. Letter B, short fiction. Letter C, play. Letter D, poetry. If you answer letter A, you got it right. Editorial. Number 2. What attribute characterizes an essay as a creative output? Letter A, sound devices. Letter B, rhythm and cadence. Letter C, conversational tone. Letter D, characterization. If your answer is letter C, correct, conversational tone. Number 3. For what French word did the word essay come from? Letter A, essay. Letter B, essai. Letter C, essaye. Letter D, essai. If you answer letter A, you got it right. Essay. Number 4. What characterizes the language of an essay? Letter A, conversational. Letter B, formal. Letter C, technical. Letter D, journalistic. If you answer letter A, you are correct. Conversational. Number 5. Which situation is best suited for writing a creative essay? Letter A, problem solution. Letter B, political issues. Letter C, personal experiences. Letter D, proving a theory. If you answer letter C, you got it right. Personal experiences. What pattern of paragraph organization arranges information according to a progression of time, either forward or backward? Letter A, spatial. Letter B, chronological. Letter C, sequential. Letter D, contrast. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Chronological. Number 7. What holds the sentences and paragraphs of an essay together? Letter A, main idea. Letter B, topic. Letter C, conclusion. Letter D, introduction. If you answer letter A, you are correct. Main idea. Number 8. What does the letter A in the acronym CRAFT stand for? Letter A, answer. Letter B, audience. Letter C, argument. Letter D, assonance. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Audience. Let us sum up what you have just learned. Always remember that from this lesson, you just learned about craft as the art of writing. However, I can also stand for an acronym to refer to the characteristics of an essay that differentiates it from other genres of literature. You also learn about the different types of essays. You learned about creative writing and how it is different from other types of writing such as journalistic, technical, scientific, and academic writing. This writing is characterized by literary devices with emphasis on narrative craft, character development, and the use of literary tropes, or with various traditions of poetry and poetics. At this point, we are going to assess your learning of the topic. Multiple choice. Read the following questions and choose the best answer from the choices. Write only the letter of your choice. Number 1. What critical approach relates the literary work with non-literary document written at the same time? Letter A, Marxist. Letter B, feminist. Letter C, cultural. Letter D, new historical. If your answer is letter D, you are correct. New historical. Number 2. What does the letter T in the CRAFT acronym stand for? Letter A, time. Letter B, topic. Letter C, text. Letter D, title. If your answer is letter B, you are correct. Topic. Number 3. What composition is written about the personal experiences, ideas, and feelings of the writer? Letter A, poetry. Letter B, essay. Letter C, play. Letter D, fiction. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Essay. Number 4. What essay title can be best presented creatively? Letter A, The Passing of the Death Penalty. Letter B, The Bangsamoro Organic Law. Letter C, My First Taste of Forever. Letter D, The importation of rice. If you answer letter C, you are correct. My first taste of forever. Number 5. Which order of paragraph organization arranges details according to the element of time? Letter A, sequential. Letter B, spatial. Letter C, chronological. Letter D, comparison. If your answer is letter C, you are correct. Chronological. Number 6. What element of craft includes alliteration, assonance, and onomatopoeia? Letter A, word. Letter B, visual. Letter C, structural. Letter D, audible. If you answer letter D, you are correct. Audible. Number 7. What critical approach sees literature's value in promoting social and economic revolution and social conditions that exist at the time of the work's composition, or the time and place of the action it describes? Letter A, feminist. Letter B, Marxist. Letter C, new historical. Letter D, cultural. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Marxist. Number 8. Which is not one of the writer's crafts? Letter A, audible. Letter B, main idea. Letter C, structural. Letter D, word. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Main idea. Number 9. What literary portrayal has the least sociopolitical context? Letter A, poverty. Letter B, heroes. Letter C, violence. Letter D, slavery. If you answer letter B, you are correct. Heroes. Number 10. What type of essay relates an incident as it happened? Letter A, narrative. Letter B, speculative. Letter C, argumentative. Letter D, expository. If you answer letter A, you are correct. Narrative. Did you get all your answers right? Good job! Let us proceed now to Let Us Enhance. To this end, you are tasked to write a creative craft essay. Observe the different orientations of creative writing as used in a craft essay that you have just learned, namely, content of your essay, your role as a writer, your audience, the format that you will use, and the topic of your essay. Choose the best paragraph organization method applicable. Refer to the rubric for the grading system. Use this rubric as a guide for your output. You have only one day to finish this activity, and you can send your output to the teacher's email address or messenger. That's all for today. You did great! Again, I am your Sir Cedric L. Simbajon. See you in our next lesson.